How much does it cost? That is the most frequently asked question on our ads, in the comments section, from anybody we talk to, and it probably is the same for you. But what I actually want to talk about today is how much does it actually cost? I want to lay it all out there. One thing that has been huge on the internet in the last few years is building trust online. And one of the quickest ways to lose trust overall in the people who are just researching you or exploring you, if they can't figure out at least a ballpark of how much your service or thing costs, then you will most likely lose them or they'll just move on. So in this video, I want to talk about how much our service actually costs, what goes into that, and why it costs what it does, and where the value is, and how that differs from others in the industry and other marketing agencies as a whole, and kind of help hopefully give you a mindset shift if this is a question that you may be asking often. So I want to talk about that. I want to show some industry data. Let's get into it. So I want to address something right out the gate, which is the mindset of this question. Because I think a lot of people need a little bit of self-awareness when they go to ask this question, especially if they have a certain mindset about it when they first ask it. So a lot of times, when this question comes up, we're like, well, hey, more than happy to talk about the price with you, but I kind of need to know a few things. And then a lot of times we'll get cut off and be like, nope, don't give me all that bull crap. Just give me the price, right? And so my favorite thing to fire back to that is, okay, how much does it cost to clear the land at my house? And then usually they'll sit there for a second. They may say, okay, may start to ask questions like, oh, what do you need? Nope, no questions. What does it cost to clear land at my house? And whatever they say, either they'll quickly kind of a light bulb will turn on and they're like, okay, I get it. I can't just give out a price without knowing more. Or they may throw me some random arbitrary number and I can just easily say, okay, $10,000, cool. I've got 100 acres of heavy brush I need you to clear. You said 10,000, okay, cool, And so that's kind of the whole mindset behind it is you can't just give a price without knowing more about what they have going on because you're providing a service, right? If we just had some blanket wrapped up program to sell you for a couple $100, a couple $1,000 or whatever, there would be no reason to be talking. But what we actually want to do is partner with you to help you grow your business. And that looks different for different businesses. There are businesses doing $10,000 a month with one guy who need X amount of services to get X amount of gain. And then there are guys with multiple machines and multiple employees and want to expand their area or buy more machines or do hiring. And so the service and the attention that person needs is going to be different, or the amount of leads that person may need to grow their business is going to be different. And that's where pricing is going to be different. So when you ask that question, think about what you're asking. And don't just think, oh, this person's trying to not give me the price or gatekeep the price. It's like, if I just tell you a price, it's like, okay, I don't know anything about you. It's like a doctor giving a prescription without a diagnosis. It just makes no sense. Now, we can give you a range. Like, yeah, we have guys who spend $2,000 a month, and we have guys who spend $15,000 a month. But that's not really going to help you get in the ballpark. Unless you're of the mindset that you would never spend $2,000 a month to grow your business, then you probably never will grow your business. Because that's what a machine costs, or that's what fuel costs, or that's what employee costs, or that's what at a minimum, right? So mindset there. That being said, I want our pricing to be out there and be available, but to do that, I have to explain what it is you're getting and how it compares and what the average return on investment is, right? And so we have 129 clients right now, and between all of them who all spend money on a range, the average comes out to between $2,000 and $3,000 a month is what most guys are spending. We have guys spending quite a bit more than that, and we have a tiny handful of people that may be right under that. If they're really small, or maybe somebody who's been with us for a lot of years and they're grandfathered in at an older price on a smaller package or something like that, just for full transparency there. So I'm going to pull up my screen here in just a second to kind of give you some visuals and give you some data on, industry averages versus us. But talking about our main offering, right now we have a main offer targeting one ideal avatar, which is a land clearing and forestry mulching company who is looking to grow, already has machines, already has an established business, already gets jobs, already is decent at sales, who's looking to bust through that plateau that they may be at and scale and grow to the next level with more opportunities, more profit, better systems, automation, so that they can not only make more money but get more freedom and build a bigger legacy. That's who we're aiming for right now, and that's who our service is absolutely best for. And the pillars of our service are account management, meaning a U.S. local person who is available to talk to you every single day about your account. They're in your account every single day, helping you set things up, helping you keep track of your systems and processes, making sure that your campaigns are optimized, and fulfilling any requests that you may have along the way, as well as being proactive and planning or suggesting future changes that may help you grow or scale your business. That's one of the big pillars that sets us apart from other agencies, and that's one of the things that I spend a lot of money on, is hiring people to be available for our clients for that. And we do it all US based, which I think is very important. So that's one of the huge pillars. The next one is going to be CRM, systems and processes. So all of the online dashboards and mobile apps that help you leverage your time better and let technology do a lot of the things that you would have traditionally had to do on paper or with manual reach out, follow up, text, emails, whatever. All of that stuff is automated, and this is a service that a lot of people have, a lot of people offer, but I have the program designed and automated and set up for land clearing companies, and we've tried and tested a lot of different things with land clearing companies to know kind of what works best and kind of cut the fluff out to build that out. But it's also fully customizable, which is another huge pillar of what we do, is we pretty much can customize anything throughout the process. And then, of course, website services, SEO services, getting you ranked on that first page of Google, both with the maps and organically, and Google ads, which is pay-per-click ads when people search, and Facebook ads or meta ads that also show to Instagram. Those are the big pillars of what we do, and it's all in the service offering. And here in a sec, I'll show you the average cost for SEO, the average cost for CRM and software, the average cost for account management or an in-house marketing person or a CMO, the average cost for media buyers to help create, manage, and buy and create the ad campaigns. If you add up all of those things, our cost is extremely low in comparison to that, and I'll kind of explain why when we are looking at that. And another huge pillar, massive pillar about what we do is we only work with land clearing and forestry mulching companies. So we are constantly every day spending hundreds of thousands of dollars seeing exactly what's working in this moment in different markets across the US, and not only the ads themselves, but the websites, the conversions, the tracking, the texting, the calls, the scripts, the automations. We're seeing what works all the time, and so you have access to that data and those resources, and you also have access to the community that we have, which is a bunch of land clearing business owners who are doing really well and range from owner operators to multi-million-dollar companies with millions of dollars of equipment doing insanely large jobs, and then everything in between, guys with 5 to 10 machines who are doing between $1 and $2 million a year. So we have that community of people that you can access and that we can pull from to make everything better. And I think that is a invaluable piece of the puzzle that is super helpful, to be able to say like, hey, this is valuable. I actually had a guy the other day tell me that our cost, our monthly cost was worth it just to be able to network and consult about building his business. And that was pretty awesome for him to say that. And I focus a lot on return on investment, how much money you actually make versus what you paid to us and ads. And I focus a lot on that, but we also focus a lot on relationships and being able to help others and consulting and planning and ideas and helping people grow their business overall, not just purely ROI. And so it was refreshing for him to say that. But okay, let's look at some things. We're going to use nothing but Google searches, and we'll just follow this little Google AI overview, which is pretty darn accurate most of the time. It just basically scrubs the websites from the search and gives you a summary up here. So we'll look at the ranges. So first thing, average cost of basically what I'm going to do here is look at the average cost of services across the U.S. for local service-based businesses, and compare that to our average cost and what guys spend on average, and what the average return on investment is versus ours. Okay, so average cost of a website, $500 to $5,000 for local service businesses with a ongoing hosting between $50 and $200. So that's $500 to $5,000. We'll call that an average of, we'll say $2,000 on the low end. We'll give them some leeway there. Average cost of SEO or search engine optimization, organic rankings. Medium-sized businesses typically ranges from $300 to $2,000 per month. And then you can see down here that it could increase depending on the size of the business or the area. Now for SEO, this is usually based on the size or like the area and the keywords. So like a lot of companies, if they're charging $1,000 a month for SEO, they'll charge $1,000 a month for SEO per area because it's local. So 300 to 2,000. So let's just give it middle of the road there, and we'll say 1,500. Here, let me actually put that in. 300 to 2,000. We'll put 1,500 in here. Anybody who's charging $300 for SEO is not doing much. Imagine a land clearing guy charging $300 a day. I mean, that's basically how that compares. Average cost of Facebook ads management services. So a lot of people will pay to like a setup fee plus management. I'm just typing in here to see management. So we have 500 to 5,000, or 10 to 20% of ad spend. That's kind of a common way to do it as well. So let's put that in here, 500 to 5,000. And since that was very similar to the website, one thing I didn't put in here, one time plus ongoing hosting was 50 to 200 a month. SEO, this is monthly, and Facebook ads, that's monthly. We'll put 2,000 monthly. Google ads, average cost of Google ads management. So 10 to 30% of ad spend. That's mostly like e-commerce or big online stores will a lot of times spend that way, because you may have a $10,000 budget, you may have $1 million budget. So it can range a lot, but for local businesses, it's usually more of a flat fee. And so here it's saying 500 to 1,000 per month for smaller businesses, and 2,000 to 5,000 for bigger businesses. So we'll take that lower amount here while we're being conservative. 500 to 1,000. So let's call this 750. And then average cost of CRM, or a dashboard with systems and processes for tracking. You can see for local service businesses, basic setup, they charge 10,000 to 50,000, which is pretty wild. So we'll be conservative here, and we'll just call this, we'll call it 20,000 in the middle. Average cost for marketing account management, 1,000 to 20,000. That's usually just going to be depending on how much you're actually spending, on how much work they have to actually do to management. So let's just put that on the low end. And then here we've got the average ROI on paid ads for local service businesses. They say 3 to 1, 5 to 1 on high value type services, and then service based businesses 400 to 600. So 4 to 1, 6 to 1. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt there, and we'll just call it 5 to 1. 5 to 1 return on investment, meaning you put $1 in, you get 5 out. Put 1,000 in, you get 5,000 out. So the total here, let's see. These are, I didn't put monthly. And guys, while I'm boring you with these numbers, I just want to tell you how important it is that you explain and educate your clients and your prices. And I would highly recommend that you have some sort of summary of this type of thing on your website or in your frequently asked questions, or maybe even a video like this of you explaining to your clients how it is and why it is that you charge what you charge. Your machines are expensive, your employees are expensive, you pay your employees well because you run a good business, you have fuel costs, you have insurance costs, there's fuel breakdowns, these machines are super expensive and super high maintenance, and you're providing tons of value to their property. Those are like, many things you would need to explain. So based on the internet averages, if you were to have all of these things done, let's look at just the monthly, 1,500, 2,000, that's 3,500. 750, so that's 4,250, and then here, so 6,250 monthly, and that was an average. It ranged. And then in one-time fees, website 2,000, and CRM setup 20,000. So 2,000 one-time website, and then CRM 20,000. Let's just give them. We'll give them a bone here, and we'll just say 5,000 set up for CRM with an average of 5 to 1 return. So here's the moment you've all been waiting for. This is our average pricing and our average return on investment. So we provide all of these services monthly. And the average spend with our clients is $3,000 to $5,000 per month versus these giant one-time setup fees and $6,250 monthly on the lower end of average with an average 5 to 1 return. We are $3,000 to $5,000 per month across 129 land clearing companies that are currently growing. Our average return on investment, real numbers across all of the businesses, is about a 7x. There is people who do better, and those are the ones who are just better at sales. And those are the ones who get a 10x plus. Like most of our testimonials have like a 10, 12, 14x return on investment. For quick numbers, that means they spent $100,000 and they made $1.4 million if that was a 14x, right? And we have a story almost exactly like that. And the guys with the bigger machines, bigger capabilities can sometimes get a higher return on investment with a lower close rate, but this is kind of how it averages out across the board. So pretty huge to see how we compare, especially when people say that we're expensive or that they could, never afford to pay that. And it's like, well, from owner operators to multi-machine businesses with managers and operators, they're spending this and they're getting a return on investment, which is why they keep paying us every month and every year, because we provide value to them, not only in money with return on investment, but also making their business run better and smoother. So I just wanted y'all to see, for all the services that we provide, we are very, very fairly priced. Like, for example, when I go to business conferences and business coaching and mentoring, I'm often told that we are underpriced. So definitely, do your research, take advantage of that, and see, where the pricing is actually coming from. And of course, it costs money, right? Like, I'm sure you didn't go when you went to buy your machine or any tools that you bought or a truck, you probably thought, oh man, this is expensive, but you may not have thought like, okay, well, I'm not going to do it because that's just too much money for what it is. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant, it's like, yeah, this is expensive, but then you go ahead and order and you pay, right? Because you know the value that you're getting. So when you say something's expensive, I just challenge you to change your mindset, especially when you're buying something that has a return, right? Your machine was not guaranteed to make you any money. Your machine doesn't have an average return on that investment. You still had to figure out a way to make money with the machine. Your truck does not make any money unless hot shotting is what you do for a living. Your truck is just an expense that supports the work, right? Versus putting money into marketing, especially proven marketing in a very, very detailed down industry, is going to be an investment that pays you back. I mean, even if you had to spend $10,000 to make 20, it's really not a bad trade-off. And those are the kind of numbers we really like to look at with you. And again, these are just averages. We have people doing 15, 20, 30x return on investment. And those are the ones that we're getting down into the numbers and like, hey, how can we use some of this money you just made to help make you a bunch more? So those are the kind of things that we like to really look at and see, from a numbers perspective. But now the frequently asked question of how much does it cost has been answered. So hopefully that makes you feel good. If you invested enough time to watch to this part of the video to understand pricing and how much it is, then I would assume you have a land clearing business and maybe want to grow it. And if you're willing to change your mindset to be able to make an investment like this, we can definitely help you out as long as we don't have somebody in your direct area already. I'd love the opportunity to learn a little bit more about your business. If you're not here, like literally you're just starting out, can't afford this, literally, not just mindset wise, I have tons of free videos on the website and YouTube that talk about next steps to take, how to advertise yourself. I even show you like literally how we make ads for people. Do it yourself, invest in letting people know you exist, and don't let yourself believe that the market's saturated or blah, blah, blah. Like, the market's never going to be saturated with land clearing. Imagine if a HVAC or roofing guy or a plumber said, oh, my market's saturated. There's 100 plumbing companies in every city, if not more, right? Unless it's a crazy small town. And even then, there may be multiple plumbers in a town with a couple hundred people. So don't ever think that your market's saturated. And if you see guys running machines everywhere you go, just know you could do it better. You could do it better. And if not everyone knows you exist, then your machine's just sitting there in the driveway, something's wrong. Do something about it. And so follow all the free material that we have. I'm about to put out a book called Clearing the Path that will be able to help companies of any size kind of do more of this. But once you are ready and you have the right mindset and you're ready to grow, I'd love to talk with you to see if we'd be a good fit to work together, but we're not just trying to work with everybody. We're doing fine. We have a good amount of clients. But people with the right mindset, we'd love to partner with you and help your business grow. I hope this answers a lot of people's questions and helps you to make decisions in the future. Talk soon. Thanks.